welcome back to Dream League Season 7 here at the Monster Energy DreamHack Studio, sponsored by Monster Energy, or as we like to call it here, Break Script's Legs was the name of this program here today. How those doing?
I'm good.
Those puppies all right?
The heel.
That's some Swedish calcium right there, keeping those together.
Just a flesh wound.
Just under the flesh wound. Anyway, Series 1 completed. Now we're looking at Series 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got Vega versus Team Liquid in their premiere of Season 7. Gentlemen, ladies, and Liquid fans, all one and the same. It is time to talk about this series. But don't forget, you at home can do your MVP votes. All you have to do is hashtag MVP, the player that you think will be the best. So, team, let's talk about these teams. Let's talk about the players. And let's talk about what you think's going to happen. Starting with the one, the only, the Broken Legs man script.
Yeah, so MVP votes first of all. Let's go with that. MVP was G's to look out for. He played, wait, was it Vega Secret? Where G played Lena last week?
I remember he played a Queen of Pain.
Queen of Pain, yeah, Queen of Pain. He had a really good game on Queen of Pain.
Yeah, one of his best. He played it the most.
Yeah, there you go. Look out for that. Look out for MVPG. I think he's like a key to success for Vega here.
Sure. A lot of no names on Team Liquid right now, Jack. Matumba Man, Miracle. Any that you can think of to maybe help out people at home for the MVP vote?
You mean GH and Kuroki? Well, you've got the super high MMR, maybe the highest MMR team in the world in Liquid. As far as the MVP goes for, well, I'd say take a look at GH as well. He's made some very nice plays on some support, some of his more I would say comfortable supports that he's been playing. So, for example, back then it would be Coddle or Wisp, great saves coming out, and then you see Wisp players nowadays making the save not just to base, but further back behind the fight, so they still have a chance to get back in. So that's always something to watch out for, making good plays on the Wisp. Obviously, Miracle is there, and Miracle with all the pomp and circumstance that precedes him is going to be always a watch out for MVP. And then as far as Vega goes, I mean, we've seen a lot of good carry play recently from Aloha Dance, especially on that Terrorblade, which Empire was talking about as well. And also Afterlife is usually pretty stable in the offlane, and he is, I think, the only player right now that teams are kind of automatically banning Legion Commander against, because he's been very good on that hero. So,
yeah, I believe actually Vega's most picked hero is Legion Commander. So yeah,
that's interesting, because a lot of teams value that hero right now. I mean, it's a pretty hot pick, but he is the one that you have to ban against? Is that what you're telling me, boys?
A lot of teams have been first phase banning it against him, so a lot of respect there.
Yep.
All right.
Interesting for Liquid as well. They play a lot of Spectre these days, which we haven't seen that much in DreamLeague.
Only once or twice, I believe. I remember a Spectre against the Death Prophet one time where the Spectre was the winner. So
Yep. That was the day of the spooky lady losing, right?
That's right. That was the day of Death Prophet's real prophecy come true.
Liquid had some interesting series in Kiev just now. They beat Newbie. They always seem to be there to beat Newbie, no matter what tournament is from last year. Even a Newbie player was kind of talking about, oh man, we're always up against Liquid, in this tournament. And then an exciting series. The third game they pulled out an interesting strategy was I think it was Visage, Lycan, Tusk, and Nature's Prophet. So there's a lot of push, a lot of mobility, but also like a ton of vision. Just like the summons from 3 heroes, being able to run all over the map. No matter where you go, you're going to be seen basically. So interesting lineup, and they executed it very well, because not the easiest lineup in terms of being able to take fights, like not a brute force lineup, but more of a finesse, and they executed it very well. And then against IG, they beat Burning's Anti-Mage in the second game of the series, but ultimately the IG pulled out their Wraith King strategy they've been playing commonly as well, and that knocked Liquid out of the tournament. But I think it was a pretty strong showing overall. They had to play against two of the best Chinese teams arguably as well. So.
And let's not forget the greatest tournament that Liquid has won in the last couple months.
Wait, let me guess.
Yeah?
Is this one?
That would be DreamLeague. They won last time, and they're here to take their championship one more time. And,
yeah, they're defending champions. That's correct.
Yeah, not a lot of people touched them. Hardly at all last season. So I am very excited. They had a kind of a rocky start, but it is at DreamLeague that they found who they were. They found their passion and their teamworkness. So, what's the word for that? Teamworkness?
Cohesion.
Cohesion! That's a great 3-syllable word. Found their cohesion here, and we'll see if that cohesion is still available You think things changed in Liquid? Are they going to get a little less solid, more fluid on Liquid? Or am I just blowing a lot of hot air?
The last season was kind of like a precursor to coincide with their rise at that time. They were winning Star Ladder. I think around that time was when like Lone Druid was really popular, fit them really well.
Yep.
So since then they've kind of been looking for other heroes that fit that. So there was the Naga for a little bit. They had different people play. They had Miracle on the Monkey King at DAC as Roam. So I like that flexibility that they have, but maybe they haven't found as much of a groove recently. I mean, it's too easy to go by just this kind of major result and say that, you know, or DAC, they also didn't do the best there. So maybe trying to find their place again. But throughout the course of the last stream, again, they were just spectacular. And, you know, maybe this one will be like that too.
Yeah. Do hope so. So, no worries. Vega, any final thoughts before we get into the draft? We have seen a lot coming out from Vega so far. Have we kind of figured out their strategy? You did say that Empire is like a very aggressive team. Figured out any strategies for Vega? What do we call them?
Vega has played well for some of the early games. I think they played a little bit slower, not as much of a face rush type of lineup, where they draft a little bit more solid instead of going kind of all in on things. I've liked Surma's drafts actually, but I think the storyline for them going forward was Silence transition from a core player to support. We did see that in those early games. You know, he was out of position a few times and it was kind of costly. But other than that, I think, you know, they've been pretty solid and they've been performing well recently as well. So another team on the rise potentially to look out for.
All right. Well, we are still waiting for one of our Team Liquid people to get into the lobby there. I won't tell you which one, so you don't get to flame them. So, have you ever broken any bones for real, though, Scriff? Ever broken anything? Never broke a bone?
Only fractured.
Only fractured. Jack?
Wait,
any bones broke in your life?
Yes.
What'd you break?
My right leg.
How? Doing that?
No, I was playing football, American football.
Yeah.
And I was with a bunch of friends in junior high school, I think, and we were playing against like much bigger kids. I think college kids for some reason.
Jesus.
So one of them, I was next to my friend, and then one of the big people kind of just like threw my friend, and he just landed on my leg.
Oh.
And so,
oh my God.
It was like 80 degrees outside, and pretty soon I was like shivering and stuff, and I was like, wait, something's wrong. I'm probably going into shock, and you know, yeah, it was a broken leg. It happens.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. Yeah, sometimes they send the middle schoolers against the college football team. One of the kids breaks a leg. What the hell?
Jesus.
How about you, Slacks?
Yeah, I broke a wrist. We were playing charades in class, and I was walking up to the front of the class, and I fell down and broke my wrist. And yeah, that is a true story. Although we were doing TV shows, and it was MTV's Jackass, and everyone guessed it correctly. Because I got off the ground and my wrist was pointing the wrong way and I was screaming like, ah! And they were like, oh my God, Jackass! The teacher's like, sit back down, Jacob. They've guessed it correctly, and I'm rolling on the ground screaming. So
best charades ever. That's like when the actor gets fully invested in the role, you know, and they like kind of lose it a little bit. That's what that was right there.
All right. Well, what do you know, boys? The picks are ready, and Liquid gets punished. Minus 70 seconds for being late. I don't know which one of you it was, but just because you won the last one doesn't mean you can show up late to your games. Let's head over to the war room and just see how upset they are. They're pissed. Look at that angry face there coming out from OT Pixel. Whoo! He's shaking with rage.
You got the
Can I say who it was?
No. You'll never know.
It was Boba.
No!
It was
okay. All right, here we go. First things first, a Lycan pick coming out from Team Liquid. Start off strong with some unique drafts.
Yep, that's Matumba's probably favorite hero, so can't really go against that one. Did you grab the Lycan yet? No, you did not.
No, I got Legion. Didn't get a lock.
Oh, he's right here.
Tusk has been a favorite for Liquid as well. They've been picking that
Under
hero
the wall.
constantly. And
Yeah.
The Lycan is just, if you want to associate with this team and with Matumba Man specifically, the Lycan has been there for so long. Even last year, before Manila, they were running some of these like very quick push strategies, and they'd have either Lycan or DP or even like a Drow draft, and they just level high ground within like, 15, 20 minutes at times if things were going really well. And now Lycan provides that function, but also obviously the Howl and how strong that is in helping your teammates in any fight, and also the Wolves providing vision and just keeping track of where you are all the time. So it's been great for them.
Yep. I got a quick question as well. Is Tusk like the new Earth Spirit?
Ooh.
Earth Spirit isn't being like used anymore, right? Because the nerfs and stuff. And Monkey King usually banned or not picked. We see Trian banned mostly. Is Tusk like the new go-to?
He's more like reliable, and he's got like this big save, right? At least from what I've seen, this is like Liquid versus Legion Commander, right? They did that at Kiev as well. They picked the Tuskar to be able to save people with it. He is more reliable. He gives you more potential, and he has a BKB countering like TP cancel, so people like rage TP or something, you just punch him in the air or whatever. So it just seems more stable. Earth Spirit's kind of like, I don't know if that hero's completely dead, but his roaming potential is much weaker, but his team fight is kind of still there. He just struggles to get those levels.
Mm-hmm.
So. I remember talking to the legend himself, Jerax, on Earth Spirit when it came out. He said he always thought Tusk was more fun. And he wanted to play Tusk, but Earth Spirit was too good. So now I think you're right. I mean, same deal.
Fair enough.
Fair enough, yeah.
I wonder if they'll go with Nature's Prophet here and no, Shadow Shaman.
Oh no, Shadow Shaman.
What? Do not flame the Neatea.
It's not Wind Ranger, come on.
Not the 68 base damage.
I love Shadow Shaman. I think he's a fantastic hero that does a lot in games, but his win rate is just not there. Didn't he lose every single game in Kiev or some horrifying stat like that?
I think did he lose all of them? Maybe he did lose all of them. I know that...
Didn't OG use them? Did they lose all the games with them?
I think
they used them multiple times.
Yeah, I think they may have actually lost. Maybe they had one win with it, but...
I mean, it wasn't good. If they didn't lose them all, his win rate was not great.
He's good versus like this like Legion Commander thing, though. If the Legion Commander's left up there, that if you just get like 2 points in shackles, whatever, you just grab him, and they can really bring him down quite easily with Lycan. And this is kind of like an old school combo. We used to see Lycan Rasta or Lycan Shadow Shaman picked up a lot in the past because you benefit from the Howl. He also has like the wards as well, so you get that like heavy push potential from it. So they have like that cool kind of like combo thing. And now Shadow Shaman, of course, has like the highest base damage in the game. So that definitely makes him a lot easier to kind of secure your safe lane. And they're, this is a good place to try stuff out, right? Trying out their strengths with their Lycan, trying out some different heroes, the Shadow Shaman. So.
I feel like with the first few teams that we've seen over the past few days, it's been pretty similar draft philosophies, or at least not similar, but like you start to get a feel for what they want. So it's nice to see Liquid kind of mixing it up. I don't think any of the other teams have really selected this kind of, there's only 3 heroes in, but with the bans as well. So they banned the Bloodseeker, and then the quick push is on the table for them, which teams have usually opted not to go for the most part. But this is one of those, like, if you win a team fight, you could instantly lose an entire lane.
Absolutely.
The Tusk also pairs well with a lot of like kind of in-your-face right clickers because you can create terrain that someone can't get out of. And you, like, imagine just being pinned up against the ice shard wall with the Lycan there.
Yeah.
Hold on, Fog. Can you please make a cow sound while you move that over?
Ooh.
What the hell was that, dude?
Some weird cow.
Ooh.
Moo.
He is called the Space Cow, so.
The DS.
All right, the Darkseer's picked up.
Stuff there.
Darkseer, interesting. You were talking about kind of the synergy with right clickers and like melee, Where does Darkseer fit into Team Liquid's lineup? Is it just the ball for Lycan or what?
Mech carrier who can get like the push going on with that. Also this is an old school thing, the Lycan Wolves with Darkseer Ion Shell is really cool.
Yeah.
You can kind of chase people out with those. It's pretty obnoxious as a support to deal with it.
And the Timbersaw coming out for Vega.
Also, potentially, I guess you could vacuum people into the shards, you could vacuum into the snowball, and again, no one wants to be standing there with the Lycan beating on you. And I don't talk too much about Vega, so with the bans coming out with the Wisp and Monkey King, those have been staples for Liquid. Obviously, they still believe in Monkey King. The first pick instantly, that Legion Commander for Afterlife, and the Warlock as well, which has been very popular in this patch against this kind of lineup. So.
Do you think this is going to be a safe lane Timber again? Because they have Legion Commander and they love it on Afterlife, so...
I mean, I think it's more likely than what they're being played in the mid lane.
It depends on what Liquid picks last, no?
Yeah, I think that they're probably... We'll leave it in between the lanes.
I think you're more likely towards the
Wait,
safe
who has
lane.
last pick? Vega, right? No?
Vega had first pick, so...
So Liquid get last.
Liquid's has last pick.
All right, well, Dazzle banned out of all heroes. I don't see a lot of that. Is that revealing something for us? A Dazzle ban?
Sustain for the push.
Oh, okay.
That Liquid has. I think that's probably what they're thinking.
Sure.
Good versus Legion Commander as well with the duel.
Bristleback, nice ban coming out there. A lot of burst damage for these heroes, and even Lycan is afraid to chase him down. So, Vega Squadron, final ban. But let's talk about the last picks coming out here for these teams. Any predictions here? I like Liquid's draft, They got the Lycan to go in one lane, a Shadow Shaman to go in another. I love Shadow Shaman in kind of a dual split push kind of scenario. But they do need somebody as a frontliner, at least for the early game until Lycan gets what he needs, don't they?
The Darkseer and the Tusk, right? We might see the Tusk even like just like lane with the Darkseer, and then they kind of like have that kind of pressure thing. He's kind of a frontliner in a way.
Okay.
With like the mech as well in the Darkseer, so they'll have that like sustain coming out from it. It's not like the greatest one. It's not the one that just stands there, but
They banned the Ember Spirit themselves, so probably looking at a Miracle Hero here with the last pick.
Yeah.
I would not be totally surprised to see something like an Invoker. I think there's some pretty good synergy there, and it gives them something that scales as well. If you have the Lycan and you're expecting him to be fighting and pushing early, you have something that scales that they want to put Miracle in that kind of position. So
Yeah, Miracle Invoker
possibility for them.
would be a beautiful pick for it. Also, maybe even something like the TA for Miracle.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Lots of damage over time from Vega Squadron. Good bit of physical burst could do wonders against Vega's lineup. But yeah, this last pick from Vega certainly, as we were saying, is going to show us where that Timber's going to be.
I'm very curious, like with the 4th pick Timber. I know it's very good versus the Lycan kind of to suppress him in ways, but it can kind of go both ways. He gives you the outspam as well, of course, versus that push. So okay,
Oh, that's nice.
so now we know.
Yeah, G's Lena.
It's very magical heavy lineup coming out from Vega Squadron now, though.
Yeah. So why
Yeah.
Lina over Quap? I mean, they love their Quap over there, don't they? It's not banned out.
I think it's because they don't have last pick, right? Lena's just like a safe laner. Like Lena doesn't, Lena doesn't really lose to? While Queen of Pain can actually struggle versus some matchups.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's what I guess. And then now it gives them more D push, more with the Lena spam.
All right, all
I
right.
think with the TA certainly, against the Lena, you've got a good matchup. But I think Invoker's still in the pool, as you said, Jack. But yeah, they go with the
There
TA.
we go.
Yeah,
I
I
like
think
the
the TA
TA.
is good.
Something that Miracle can certainly perform on. You've got that pretty solid matchup against the Lena. Obviously, G's going to have good range, but you shouldn't die in that matchup. And we know that Miracle's going to be able to farm that. There's almost certainly going to be stacks created for him at the Ancients. Should hit the good Blink Deso timing and then start to get the ball rolling from there.
Oh, well, there you go. Thank you, War Room. They called it pretty well. Our boys in the War Room are very educated. They know what is coming out. But, boys, I need you to make some educated guesses on who you think are going to win this game. Start with Script this time, Jack.
I'll make
They'll
an
do well first.
uneducated guess.
All right, uneducate me.
Team Liquid.
Team Liquid.
I like the draft more. I don't like the Vega Squadron kind of going very heavy on the magic damage, very little on the physical. So yeah, Liquid.
Okay, Jack.
I actually like Vega's draft, and people might not be on board with this, but I'm gonna go with Vega for game 1.
Okay, all right, all right. I actually like Vega's draft too. I'm always up for a Legion Commander against a Lycan, a lot of lockdown, but don't matter what I say, it matters what our casters say over on the casting desk. So let's take a look over at those casters and take a listen to this next fantastic Dota game.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, indeed, welcome to the casting desk. I'm Odie Pixel, I'm here with Fog. We're ready to take you through Liquid versus Vega Squadron. We've just seen the picks. Liquid finishing it, of course, off with the TA. Vega bringing the G Lena to the fray. It's going to be an interesting match, I feel, because, Liquid, they have this Matuma man Lycan, and he is arguably one of the best Lycans in the world. Can Vega deal with it? I mean, they've picked up this Timbersaw 4 pick that you yourself already started to question a little bit. I mean, what is the plan with that Timber now that you've seen the full draft? Did you see why it makes sense for Vega?
I guess they wanted to do this, exactly what we're getting to see now. It's, we get to see it afterwards, but the Timbersaw Warlock, they're going for the dual pressure. I know Lycan doesn't like having that hero in his face, but it's versus a Shadow Shaman, who is probably one of the best versus Timbersaw in the laning phase because you have high right-click damage potential early on, your Ether Shock is high magical burst, and you have a incredibly long, sustainable lockdown for him in that phase. So I think it'll be a little bit tough for them to pressure him in that aspect, but then they do get Afterlife in that 1v1 matchup. So we'll see if Liquid's able to have him. I really like that Liquid is sticking with their guns. This is I look at that last draft and I'm like, I don't really think anyone else would really draft exactly those heroes except for Liquid.
Yeah, not so. Definitely a Liquid lineup. And that's what could make it scary for Vega. Let's see how well the Squadron can perform here. Already, look at this. Liquid ready to go across and look for some first blood action potentially. GH gets the sharp block out, and G, that's a man that can't get his way out of it. He's not even going to bother skilling anything up here as he accepts his fate. And Liquid find themselves first blood, grab the rune. Both the bounties and the first blood gold going to Matumba Man. Great way to start.
Yeah, that is definitely the best way. Very nice shards coming out. Good way to... Who got the last hit? Is Matsu, right? Okay,
yeah, Matumba.
so
Got it all.
We'll see what item he likes to go for. He used to go for the Midas build, but this game it looks like he's just going to go for Clone Blade Treads rush.
Yeah, it's as we've seen already, multitude of different ways to build the Lycan at the moment in this current patch. So we'll see if we're going to see some Armlet, Mask of Madness action, or see if we kind of, as you mentioned, the Midas, Desolators as such. Mid lane, Miracle, potentially a bit of trouble here. He's going to be charged, but already popping the south. That will put Shema the Slayer off diving the tier 1.
I think G actually revealed that. Yeah, no, actually Miracle won't know that, but he was charged as well. But it looked like he did reveal his mid ward, but Miracle's not 100% sure if that one just said because the Spirit Breaker coming in as well. So they're doing some aggro tri-lane pressure versus the Tusk Lycan Shadow Shaman, but Shadow Shaman's not nearly as weak as he once was. Getting the shackles on Aloha again.
So they've got enough damage, and they have. He's going to be taken down. Shema the Slayer turns up. He's got to back off. I mean, already Liquid picking up 2 kills, and both of them happening in the presence of the big bad wolf on the top lane. This is a very strong opening already from Liquid.
Not for you.
Mid lane.
The last hit on that one this time, so this time it was GH. So now he's got his boots finished up with his Overvenom, so this lane is going to become even more difficult, in my opinion, for Vega Squadron. We do see the Spirit Breaker charging out toward Miracle. Miracle's in a lot of trouble, though.
He's gone.
Dead.
He is absolutely dead there. Refraction's still unavailable for a couple of seconds. Vega finding the opening to punish. Big news there for Lina. G is going to be very happy with knocking that TA out of the lane for a little bit. Shaman will be there to pick up some experience and a bit of gold. Bottom lane matchup, what are we seeing at the moment between the DS and the Legion? So at the moment, 9 for 0 against the 14 for 0. So Mind Control is having the favorable time at the moment in this lane.
Has to be expected as a Darkseer. I think Afterlife's still doing a pretty good job, but Mind Control is going to maximize a little bit more, just doing those constant pulls. But the big camp is actually blocked by Sentry Ward, so it's only going to spawn once. So he's not going to be able to do too much of that stacking and Ion Shell in top lane.
Top lane again. This is becoming a bit of a big issue if they're bringing him down, and they certainly will. The burst is more than enough. Fatal Bonds was laid down in time, and Loa Dance, see if he can do something in return. But he does have to be careful. I mean, they're punching pretty hard into him. Well, Timber Chain away, the shards will trap him. Looks like it's only GH, though, that's trying to commit for the kill. As the rest aren't going to go in. He's actually going to pop the mango, go for the snowball in, and that's actually going to cost GH's life. Playing a little too over-aggressive, and they will punish.
I like that Sayoma kind of recognized, though. He's like, all right, there's no way we can, if we're just tri-lane top, we don't really do anything versus the Lycan, actually. We have no way of stopping the Rasta shackles in the back.
And look at this mid, Miracle.
So he's pressuring mid.
He's going to get it cut off here. The lineup will catch the light strike, but immediate reaction from Liquid this time around, knowing they cannot let this abuse happen to Miracle. They have to send in reinforcements.
He's still dominating the CS board, though. 20 and 5 to the 9-0 Lina. And now GH set up around the mid lane. They're recognizing that even though Lycan CS is getting hindered a bit, it's quite all right. He's able to get the levels. And picking themselves up a couple kills is very nice.
Yeah, bottom lane Afterlife has got to be careful. He's out of regen. And no points in press the attack yet. So has to be very careful about this pressure that Mind Control is applying with the Iron Shells. As not the sustain there, apart from the passive procs, to really keep him around. So playing very much on the edge of his life, yeah. Still getting that CS, though. 20 picked up, as you mentioned, still finding good farm. It's just a little bit risky for him. Top lane, movement comes in. They'll dive deep on Matumba. The rotations were being made by Liquid, and that leaves the top lane open to abuse. Vega Squadron realizing the windows there immediately. Afterlife did get the south out swim. Managed to get a care package delivered. So we'll be fine sticking around the lane.
So their aggro tri-lane's actually, it's working okay. Just because Sayoma's read, his movements has been very good. But now, as I mentioned that, Aloha might be in some trouble here. If they're able to find the grab on him, he does get the level 2 heal.
It's just a little bit hard for them to go for. They will try with, but I don't know if it's going to be enough firepower here from Liquid. They'll try and trap him up, but the burst damage he shoots with the Fatal Bonds, Fatal Bonds whirling death at this point of the game, it just destroys this tri-lane. They cannot group up like that. Because for a start, they're not going to get the kill. And in fact, they're going to fall very low. That Shadow Word and the Fatal Bonds bringing GH down incredibly low here. They're still trying to play around, but the charge across comes through from Shema the Slayer. And I think Liquid, they may just end up losing all 3 here. They're so damn low. They continue to man up, but GH finally falls. Silent tries to turn, but he gets taken down. Liquid, I can't believe they actually got away with that there. The 3 of them just dancing around almost. It seemed like minimal HP. It looks like finally they will be punished. A Dragon Slave from G comes through from the river to bring down KuroKy.
That damage from the Fatal Bond combo.
A Warlock Timbersaw it's absolutely deadly. When you're grouping up like 3 like that in the tree line, the burst potential is huge.
He has even had the level 2 Whirling Death, so the 150 pure damage on 3 heroes with the Fatal Bonds on top was pretty absurd how much it really did.
A lot of action so far here in these first 6 minutes, 5 for 5. Certainly, you know, strengths being shown either way. At the mid lane, of course, Miracle having the better time. Up on the top, Matuma Man's farm, as we've seen, been slowing down a little bit, but they are getting kills in return for each other. You know, Matuma Man, he's 2-on-3 at the moment in this laning stage, up against aggressive tri-lane. So he's going to be happy with that. They may have killed his supports, but they've only killed him the once. You see if that actually may change, though, as Lower Dance getting aggressive. You've also got a Spirit Breaker eyeing up a potential to charge in.
Bottom lane, the double Ion Shell, level 7 on Mind Control. They're putting some pressure onto Afterlife here. Silent is there in response.
And they'll trap the Warlock up here in the shard. Silent trying to make his way around. He's not going to be able to. Liquid get the kill. Mind Control, 50 CS, 7 minutes in. Just casual darks it. He is having a brilliant time down here. He's going to be hitting the good item timings as well. Something, as you mentioned in the draft, is going to be really crucial for getting Liquid's pushed together. If he can get that Mech and Search online in great time, they can start putting on the pressure before Vega is prepared.
Yeah, he's just going to enable the Lycan in the TA so much more. And the fact that he's going to be this farmed is going to put a lot of pressure onto Vega. And then it opens up the map a lot for Miracle and for Matumba. And Matu's actually farming the enemy woods. It's actually pretty funny. He doesn't want to be playing versus that Timbersaw anymore.
It seems a little risky. I guess they have got the Dire himself ward out by the tower, so he knows that the area is clean.
Yeah, and this is also something that people used to do a lot, is when you play the Lycan with the Shadow Shaman, you want to leave the lane really early so that you can give your Shadow Shaman a pretty early level 6 to be able to pressure those towers.
Smoke up.
Coming out.
It was spotted out underneath the ward. G, he knows it's there, and straight away goes with the burst onto GH. He's going to get himself a freebie. Mind Control just had to surge and run the hell out of there. Afterlife would have liked to try and close the gap with the duel. It's not going to be available. Mid lane, ready to make a go. You're going to see the rotation from Matuma Man coming in from that side jungle as Miracle closes in on to Shoma the Slayer with a trap slow. Liquid take a kill in return. And we'll see if Liquid are aware that that ward indeed was there that spotted out their smoke.
Top lane, Silent, getting gone on by KuroKy and GH. He's got a good amount of healing, though, and some stick charges.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the two of them can get this. He's going to be able to walk it out, and in fact, they're thinking about turning. Straight in with the charge, onto the Shaman, fed up onto as well, bring him down low. The bashes from Shoma. Probably needs one more to seal the deal. Is he going to get it? We'll turn back towards the task now. The turnaround's there. KuroKy going with the shackles. Whoa, there we go. Smashes the Shaman in the face, brings him down. Silent gets away, and in comes Afterlife to pick up the duel win. Double kill for Shoma the Slayer. Again, this game, it's a lot of action going on. Back and forward, bottom lane. A Lower Dance falling low. Is there a bit of a man fight between himself and Mind Control? Both will live to see another day.
Yeah, the damage combination between Shadow Shaman and Tusk is not very high, especially versus like these very tanky heroes now. Like Warlock with the new strength gain, he gets fairly tanky fairly early. Spirit Breaker, naturally very built-in tanky. KuroKy in some trouble here.
He's in a lot of trouble again. They are not afraid of diving this tower. He needs a bash. Give it a bash. Oh, there we go. Bash to the backside from Shoma. Crushing in the Shaman's skull. And that puts some pressure on the tower as well.
Heavily pressuring the safe lane. However, the other two lanes of Liquid are doing pretty well, and you know, Matu is still farming quite well. Like he's in the jungle, he's just doing his own thing, going for that Vlad's quick build so they can go for that quick early Roshan potential. But yeah, I mean, this Timbersaw and Afterlife are definitely farming pretty well.
Yeah. And as you said as well, in terms of quick Roshan potential, also Miracle going for the Deso first rather than the Blink Dagger. So prioritizing the damage, and there's certainly other routes of initiation. They have the Tusk to get him in close and personal. So just having the damage is all that's really required from Miracle at this stage with his first item pickup.
Yeah, he probably feels that he's farming super well in comparison to the Lina. But G's still holding his own because he's got 3 kills, being able to rotate around and get those nice little pickups. Another smoke coming out from Liquid. Do they have 6 on the Shadow Shaman? They don't just yet.
So they can get a good Hex and a Shackle into Matuma Man's ult. Should buy time for for the Wolf to get a few crits in and take down a kill. They'd love to find G. G at the moment, of course, playing it safe, cleaning up the camps, and does have the backup of Shoma the Slayer. So if they could decide to go, there's definitely going to be turnaround potential. Shoma will be spotted out. They're going to pop the ult here. Liquid, they want to dive deep, but Tumberman tries to run forward, but a drive-by charge comes in. The Golem's drop connects onto 3. It's a good fatal bonds as well. Liquid have to be careful how they choose to commit about this one. And Tumberman indeed already starts to tuck his tail and run away. Kuroki will be chased down as Afterlife is looking for the jewel. They've got the trap slow to hold them back, and indeed they will make sure that Afterlife can't get in close enough. GH walks forward with the snowball. He is playing with fire here on the front lines. The Chakram won't connect from Aloha Darts, so he will live.
No, he won't.
Oh, he won't. He just goes up to the high ground there with a quick timber chain, takes the kill.
Yep.
And Liquid very awkwardly trying to force that fight, and it is coming back to hurt them. The Hex will hold back Shoma. Shackle to set up, but look at this wraparound here. Afterlife, he's just walked right back around behind a tier 1, strolls in for a cheeky duel, and they're not done yet, Empire. They'll turn towards Miracle. G is going to go for the pause. He is dead and out.
Mind control's there this time.
I mean, what have we got here? So we've got 3 members of Vega, 3 members of Liquid in the vicinity. Tusk is still right back up at the tier 3s. Who's going to come out on top? Well, Miracle, what's the refraction like? Is he going to have refraction again? He's not. So Miracle should be dead. He's got meld? He's got meld? He can meld.
He could use it.
There's no AoE as such. Oh, they've got a sentry on silence. So Miracle surely is dead. Aloha Dance, a little low. Aloha Dance got stick charges. He has not. He's just used his 1 charges. I'll see how this plans out. No stacks of reactive armor on him as such. Oh, the pause onto the pause. So I think Miracle should die. Silent might get run down by mind control. We'll see. Miracle goes for the meld. There's the Chakram AoE. Takes him down. But Tumberman indeed did pick up a second. Timber Sword to fall. Tumberman now surged up, chasing towards Silent with the Wolf as well on him. Afterlife's going to try and come in, help out. Silent running away with the Shadow Word, but again another surge allows Tumberman to finish off the deal. Shoma the Slayer now back for the action. Charges forward onto the Wolf. But Tumberman's not done. He's found a triple. Hey, this could get messy. He could find more here. Afterlife with the overwhelming odds nuke though brings down mind control. Tumberman takes another strike to the face. He needs to bash Shoma the Slayer. Will he quite get it? It doesn't matter. Dragon Slave from G finishes off the job as they set the dog on fire. 14 for 11 as things start to stabilize once again. Kuroki, he's going for the casual haste play. What's he going to do with this? Oh my goodness, is he going to find Afterlife? That's going to be hilarious. Oh no!
He's got him.
Oh, is he getting this? Oh,
the range
he hasn't quite got enough burst. The survival will be there, and now the turnaround. The quick Hex holds back Shaman. Make sure that the charge doesn't connect onto the Shaman. Overwhelming odds, bringing them down low. Oh, Laguna to the back, but Kuroki, he doesn't even give a damn. The Dragon Slave will finally burn his little yellow head as they look for more. Vega, they've got GH in their grips as well. The jewels back up. Dragon Slave again. G follows through to bring down the Tusk, but Tumberman, again, the evolution is there. Into the Wolf, chasing down Silent. Stick charges are not going to save you. As Tumberman comes back in, gets a double kill. This fight, never ending as it seems.
It's 29 kills in 13 minutes. They're just actually running at each other at this point. It's just non-stop battle. It's funny too, because we were talking about how Vega is one of those teams lately that they have not actually been this super aggressive team, but this game, they are literally just going for battle.
Ah, it's brilliant. 16 to 13, 30 minutes in. Who's coming out on top? Overall, Liquid slightly, but yeah, as you say, it's very much still anyone's game.
One thing is Sayoma's having a very good game on the Spirit Breaker. He's part of 14 of the 16 kills. He's literally everywhere.
Yeah.
Every single time. Like even the charge stun, he interrupted GH trying to get a snowball save there like once or twice. He's just having a lot of impact on this one. And Miracle actually doubles back for the Blink Dagger onto the TA rather than going for that Deso Rush.
Okay.
Able to pressure bottom tower. Kuroki gets his level 6, so he's pushing the Mats Serpent Wards down there. Able to get a tower. That is the one nice thing, is that Liquid's lineup naturally takes buildings after fights. So they win a fight or they even come out even in a fight. If they're able to get onto a tower, they are going to take that one. While you look at Vega's, and their tower pressure and objective taking is pretty doo-doo.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what your best tower hitter really is what the Lina off. She gets this Fiery Soul stacks up. Yeah, still not necessarily the quickest of siege and push potential. Blink Dagger now finish off on Afterlife. Could be pretty crucial in some of these skirmishes if you can get the quick pick at the start.
Yeah, they've got mech finished up on mind control now too, so for these fights, Liquid is looking a little bit stronger if they don't get hit by a big Warlock Golem. They've got the double Ion Shell coming in. They've
Here
got the
we
Wolves coming, they've
go,
got
there's
Miracle
the
going in
jump,
deep.
looking for a lower, does put the jewels there, holds back the TA, the Golem will be dropped, falling down low, Miracle controlled up by the Nether Strike, but the Vacuum Ball combo comes through, overwhelming odds, nukes Miracle down low, but Matuma Man chasing after target, takes down the Legion, Shards will trap up the Spirit Breaker, that's going to be a second kill for Liquid. They'll force back Vega Squadron, did commit the Golem for that one. And Liquid still come out on top. Vega unable to finish off any of the kills. Miracle surviving on minimal health there, thanks to the backup of the team. The presence of mind control coming in just in time to save.
Very good usage of their wards there. They have vision pretty much all over the jungle of Vega, and they know that they saw G farming top, and he didn't even have a TP scroll, so right away they go for that play and benefit from it heavily. Even though they get hit by a pretty nicely placed rock, they don't have their big damager. Their big team fighter right now for Vega is the Lina, and he was not there. And they already were on top of the Timber Saw. So with those Ion Shelled Wolves, with the Ion Shelled GH and Ion Shelled Matumba Man running in, it's just a bit too much for Vega to deal with. And now he's got the Armlet, he's got the Mask of Madness finished on the Lycan.
Going for the, but seems to be definitely the favorable build at the moment. And that is a Timber Saw coming quite close to danger. We're seeing a Tefra turnaround. Shown with the Slayer, comes in with the charge. Jump forward from Afterlife, but the Vacuum grabs the both of them. They've already lost the cow, and now the Timberman is going to go down as well. A Miracle picks up the second there with the help of Kuroki, getting the final kill secure, of course. Got to get their money on the Shaman. A Miracle surge forward, looking for more, jumps forward, diving towers now, chasing Afterlife, but the press the attack will heal him up. Miracle turns towards potentially the easier target. The Shards will be there. Silent, not going to get away. The Mail Strike follows through. Too much burst for him to take, and on the back lines, yeah, G getting trapped in the Shaman wards. Kuroki bringing the brutality to the game. No mercy.
Very good vision game coming out of Liquid, like using their wards to their maximum, using the TA traps, the Wolves as well. They just have so many different ways to gain vision of where Vega's going to be team fighting, so every single time they're able to take the fights on their own accord.
Oh, and a 16-minute Greaves on mind control isn't going to make life any easier for Vega Squadron in these fights. That is going to be pretty huge against the way that Vega are trying to play against Liquid. Miracle. Eyes on the Timber. It's a hard catch. They are going to try and commit for it. He's got the hood. That ain't going to help you, of course, against the physical damage. Active armor stacks is going to be enough. Show me the Slayer. Charges through. Miracle will jump forward, trying to chase down for the kill. The Hex and the Shackle to hold back the Space Cow. Miracle is going to get punished. The duel will be won. Afterlife picks up the bonus damage. Miracle will be back for round 2 here with the Aegis. Mind Control does end up finishing off the Spirit Breaker. They're thinking about diving. Vacuum back onto Silent. Double kill for Mind Control. They're not done yet, Liquid. Here comes the big white ball of doom as they close in onto G. 3rd kill for Liquid. Now Loa does stunned up in the wall. 4th kill. Liquid with their unrelenting fighting potential. Just no holds barred as they pick up 4 kills. Afterlife, he's playing with fire here. Again, the gap closed from GH secures the 5th. An effective team wipe from Liquid, a tier 2 as well. And it seems like the pace may be getting a little too much for Vega Squadron now.
They're falling so far behind. There's too much sustain. Like this early mech into Guardian Greaves plus the Howl, they just have too many different ways to keep the fight going, and Vega just can't get online in time. They can't use, like the Rock is up now, but it's, just way too fast paced for them to really be able to do anything. Liquid's just steamrolling them.
Hey, Nether Striker Courier, give it a bash and a wash. Damn! And that is a lot of money on the ground. That was the Desolator, I believe. That was the 2. Oh, I mean, we'll be able to check what it is in a minute, as GH actually being caught out here. So what was on that Courier? It was the 2 Mithril Hammers. So that is going to be the Deso for Miracle on the sidelines for 3 minutes, thanks to the cow hunting it down.
Small gains, baby steps. But man, look at that net worth. That's in 5 minutes. They swung a 12,000 gold lead.
Those
just
fights.
From that sheer aggression and potential of just being able to run at people with the Ion Shell, with just all these small different things that they have. It's very impressive coming out from Liquid. Vega also just kind of like, I feel like they're not prepared for this. Like they have they have like 1 ward down, but just the vision game from Liquid is letting them just take the pace of these fights so much faster.
Bloodstone complete for G. Afterlife again for the chance to find a duel. As we can see, the 3 cores of Liquid taking the lead. And in terms of farm potential, it's going to be a lot quicker for them as well. They are going to be able to keep this lead. You know, Vega's best hope of taking over again has to be on these the reliance of taking a successful team fight.
I'm pretty curious about the hood pickup from Aloha.
I mean, as you mentioned, the magical burst, even from the supports, isn't that scary. I mean, the other shock, sure, but it really is the Lycan and the TA running at you with their incredible physical that's the biggest issue.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure if any item would have really helped to the situation that they're in, but
yeah.
I just feel like it's a little bit out of place versus what Liquid has.
Maybe even a casual plate now.
Yeah,
we used to see like some Timbers do that, didn't we?
Yeah, just some kind of armor thing, like even like a medallion, even maybe something like the Solar Crest on Timber Saw versus this lineup. It seems pretty good to me.
There we go.
Either way, he's going to be getting close to that Bloodstone, and yeah, they kind of just got ran at a lot, so it was just like, he was probably just like on the fly, like, oh, what do I get? Like, we're just getting completely decimated by this.
So what Vega can do here with the smoke up and wrap around behind the tier 1.
They get spotted though.
Yeah, Miracle and Mind Control aware that something fishy's going on here. They're going to find the wraparound. G on the front looking for the Light Strike array. He's not going to land it now, could be in trouble himself. The trap slows will be there. Miracle still trying to play around the inevitable stuns. Now comes in with the melt. It blinks away to duke out the Light Strike, and there's the follow through Ice Shards. They'll get the block off. Golem has been dropped, coming in for the full commitment, but Shoma, he's already been bursted here. The Greaves popped by Mind Control, putting Liquid back pretty much to full health after Golem's been dropped. G sacrifices himself in the Roach Pit with the Bloodstone deny, and Miracle and GH cleaning up more. 4, 5 dead on the ground for Vega Squadron yet again. And it really just seems it's turned into this game that's just constant 5 versus 5. But Vega Squadron with not the same tools that Liquid have to deal with this sort of just group up and go. It just seems impossible for Vega Squadron to come out on top of a full 5-on-5 man fight.
Yeah, they just had they had so many traps there to just take the fight, and oh my goodness, another vacuum coming
wall
out.
Here. They do have the Shrine heal, but G taking a walrus punch right between the legs as they are falling left, right, and center yet again. Liquid just cleaning up 30-17, 22 minutes in, coming up to a 20k gold lead as they clean up the top set of rags, and Miracle just dives in for the glory, jumps forward and a couple of hits to the old man, brings down the Warlock.
They're still a tier 2 up, guys. They're trying to hit the tier 3, but they're like, oh, wait a minute. We can't just yet. Yeah, they're just so farmed, and the way that they're taking the fights.
He will jump in if he wants to. He's going to respect the fact that the Legion's back up, maybe a little bit worried about being locked down by an inevitable duel. With the Desolator out, Dragon Lance complete, well on the way to picking up the Hurricane Pike. He's having a pretty tasty game, and just, yeah, the difference now between the cores of Liquid and the cores of Vega Squadron is massive, closing in towards a 5k lead on each respective place.
Yep.
It's looking pretty irrecoverable now, this game state for Vega Squadron.
Oh yeah, and GH even with that Blink Dagger. In the one fight that, you know, Vega did get like that big clump up kind of fashion that was happening with the Infernal, he just blinking, snowball saves during the duel, and the fight just gets completely turned around. So they're just executing at a higher level than Vega, and I think Vega's kind of falling into the trap where they can't slow the pace down. Well, they couldn't at the point where they needed to, and yeah, Liquid just has great objective taking and great aggression.
This could be pretty much the last gun-ho play from Vega Squadron. They smoked up. They've got to find something positive with this one, but Shoma, he's going to be spotted out. They know that he's there. He holds back on the charge. Looking for wraparound. They've got the ward here to give vision as TA drops it down. Looking for G. Blinks away. Miracle dodges the Light Strike. Vacuum Wall again. Catches out 2 with the combo. Matuma Man making a beeline straight for G. Will take a Laguna Blade to his face, but again, these shards from GH stopping Vega from getting down to the low ground, allowing Miracle to pummel in as he picks up the double kill. Mind Control as well, now unstoppable and silent. Again, will almost certainly be taken down here. The jump force there, they tap out as it's all over. 24 minutes of absolute brutality. 36-17. Definitely the highest kills per minute we've seen yet here in DreamLeague, as both teams want to bring the fun, bring the team fight, bring the aggression. Just happens to be the Liquid were a little bit better at it today.
This looked a lot like the secret right?
Yeah.
The secret game versus Vega, where Vega just ends up running into these like constant team fight, and they're not prepared for these fights just yet.
They weren't kitted up to the same extent.
It almost kind of like, not to like shoot any shots at them or anything, but it kind of like turned into like a pub in a way. Like Liquid was just like, all right, let's just run at them and take the fights, and they were just running into them as well. And they had the item advantage with the mechanism, with the mech, with the HAL, just so much sustain coming out versus Vega's lineup. It was just, I mean, really well played by Liquid, but Vega just fell into a trap of constantly running into it.
Absolutely. Well, there we have it. One of the quickest games we've had here at DreamLeague. Liquid with a very impressive debut. We'll see if they can continue it. Of course, game 2 round the corner. Don't go anywhere. We'll cut to a quick break, then back to the panel, and then back to us for some more Dota 2 action. See you about, ladies and gentlemen.